Hey everybody, it's Strict 9 with Strict 9 GP, and I'm back with this Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders playthrough with the Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2020. This is third episode in this series, and I think we should probably get through the rest of the schedule, the regular season anyway, and get ready for the tournaments, end of season tournaments, conference tournaments, all that stuff. I feel like for us, first season with this team, it's just going to be, can we have a decent showing in conference? Can we have a good, maybe win or two, surprise wins in the conference tournament, and meet maybe one or two of the goals that the school has set up for us, and just, keep going. Big thing I'm looking for today, at the end of the last episode, I made some changes to our strategy. I'm hoping that plays a part in getting some wins. One of the things we struggled with inside, we're not getting a whole lot of rebounds. I feel like moving from the high post where we were, which you can see, just the definition of it, it kind of draws the big guys away from the basket a lot of times. We're not getting probably as many offensive rebounds as we should be. So I'm going to move to the triangle, which is kind of a standard offense. Tries to load up one side, get some good shots that way, and the big guys stay around the basket. That's definitely where our strengths are as a team. Two best players on the team. They got some size, big center here. Christian Eschmeyer, freshman, 7 feet, 287 pounds. Still think this guy's, I haven't looked at, all the stats for the conference. I still think this guy has a good chance at being freshman of the year. Trent Craig, disruptive force maybe, but a good size for a power forward. He's had a pretty good game, or a pretty good season. I thought I would take a look at the stats on the team before we get running, just to show you what I'm talking about. So if I just basically looking at points per game, Eschmeyer is at 13. He's gotten pretty strong throughout the season. He's getting a good amount of minutes. Rebounds just over 5. Biggest thing with him, I hope he doesn't transfer out. I mean, that would be a big blow. He's not having the best of relationships. Usually, though, coach relationship has to be pretty low for a guy to transfer out. So I'm hoping that I get to keep him for at least, the full run that I have with MTSU, however long that is. But then after him, Delzell, Craig, under 10, but, had some good games here and there. Hall at small forward, not playing too bad across the board. He gives you some rebounds, 3.6, pretty good defensive player. And then I'm struggling with the bench, still struggling with that point guard position. Who should be the true starter there? Going with Montgomery, and I'm curious too if moving away from the high post will help him out. We'll see. Guard play is really not the strength of this team by any means, so I think I'm just going to have to ride it out until I get some good recruits in. But looking at the schedule, we've got 9 games left, 5 at home, 4 on the road. Some of the toughest opponents in conference we've already gone through. We got Southern Miss, Western Kentucky, Florida International, UAB, Rice at home. Some pretty strong teams there. I was going through in my head, I was like, if we can just win 4 out of those 5, and our record at home is 6-4, so it's not the greatest. But if we can, somehow get past like a Florida International, Western Kentucky, get past those one, if not both of those guys at home, I think maybe we can finish, 9-9 possibly in conference. That's the goal at this point. Had a really tough non-conference schedule to set us up for defeat, honestly, and a bad season. But we would meet at least one of the goals if we finish 9-9. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. and see if we get lucky, rack up some wins as we go down the stretch. I mean, 6-3, 7-2 that'd be so awesome. But I go back to my first season with UAB, playing with them, and we had a similar situation. First season we were terrible non-conference, like 2-9, I think. But then we were like 11-7 in conference. I was really hoping that we'd have a similar shot here with MTSU, but I don't think that's going to happen. And the big reason it's not, I think, is guard play. But here's a pretty decent early test. Southern Miss, throughout the seasons that I've played, they've been pretty competitive in this conference. You look, they're 4-5, got the same conference record as we do. Home game, we get smothered by them, 76-58. So Eschmeyer was really held scoring-wise. Craig had a good game, but wow, that was a disappointment, and that's what I'm talking about. We need to win these home games because we're playing so poorly on the road. So that's a bad way to start this out. That really puts a dent in the goal of going 9-9. So now we're 4-6 in conference. Looking at the team play, they really out-rebounded this. So at least for this first game, moving away from high post didn't have much of an impact. They were good from the line. Turnovers, we did win that battle for what it's worth. Close in team fouls, but Craig, great game from him. I mean, he might wind up with 10 points a game if he keeps playing like that. Hall, good game from him. Eschmeyer, 6 rebounds, but he was a plus. But, we're getting really – when our bench guys come in, we're just really not doing well. That's about the only thing I can hope there is, maybe next season with some of these guys getting some play. I'm moving Jack here, for instance, is getting more time at point guard. Maybe that'll help him for next season. Montgomery didn't have a terrible game, but the guy just doesn't shoot much. You can see just 2 attempts for the whole game. And then as a team, we shot really poorly. We didn't go to the free throw line much, but we were just 5 for 10. So not a very good game at all. And this is, when I was doing my calculations, this was one of the games I thought we would probably win. So let's go back and see if we can catch it up with some other team. Really in the hole right now, though. 4-6 in conference, 7-14 overall. I mean, ultimately, I think, I'm going to have to put my own stamp on this team because I think I need some better recruits. And now, like I say, I'm really starting to worry about, am I going to be able to keep a guy like Eschmeyer? And that would be very bad because we don't have a whole lot of depth at center. Backup center has some decent potential, but he's a disruptive force. I really hate that I've got so many of those guys on this team right now. So here's a tough one. On the road against Louisiana Tech, they're one of the better teams in conference this year. It would be just a miracle for us to, pull off an upset here. And it's a bad loss again, 30 points. So I guess, I'm just going to have to hope that adjustment, should have made it earlier in the season, moving away from the high post. It's going to take them some time to get used to it. If you look at the team breakdown, we had a terrible shooting game. Again, rebounds, we're getting closer. It was 30-38, but turnovers still a trouble. We had 16, they had 9. Free throw shooting wasn't great again, but it was just all in the shooting. The fact that we, had more turnovers, we didn't get as many attempts, and shot 34%. But you're not gonna, you're not coming back from that kind of deficit. just, even improving to say 50%, we would still be struggling. Individually, Craig had another good game. Plus or minus, though, we were in the hole in a lot of different, that whole starting lineup just didn't perform. Delzell really held in check. No points. Eschmeyer, second game in a row where he really struggled, just 6 points. So I was talking him up for freshman of the year, and now, that may not even happen. Trying to take the positives where I can, but so now we are 4-7 in conference. It's going to take just a really nice win streak, and we haven't had it because the schedule has been basically, road, home. It's hard to get a good streak going. We need, it'd be nice to have 2 or 3 in a row at home to help us out. But Louisiana Tech, they were one of the toughest opponents left on that schedule. So with 7 games left, starting to look like 9-9 in conference is going to be tough. So now we got Western Kentucky at home. We beat them, I think, on the road early in the year, but they're 6-5. Let me just go ahead and play it, and I'll see if we did beat them. So, oh man, close loss, 70-67. Eschmeyer back in double digits, but we have just taken really a bad turn here. So I don't think we're going to salvage anything positive in this season, unfortunately. I'll take a look at the box score here. I did, like I say, I think we beat them early in the season, but I can't remember. Individually, we shot better than them, but once again, rebounds were close. So, like I say, hopefully getting away from that high post will help there. But we struggled at the line, and that did it for us. I mean, 3 more shots at the line, and we tied them. So that was a big blow. Turnovers again, a problem for us. Individually, Craig was shut down. We're having a tough time getting our big players, to play well together, game to game. The bench looked a little bit better here. I mean, you had Tremblay +5, Webb +3. He got a lot of minutes this game, but he also got a lot of fouls. Just 1 assist. Landrum, a freshman power forward. If I had to get this guy some minutes, I think he could probably develop as well. But now, what is that? 6 games left? Gosh, we'd almost have to run the table to feel good about this season. No, it was Rice, maybe. Who was I thinking that we beat on the road early in the year? That was a pretty big win. No, it was Alabama Birmingham. So that was the first time we played Western Kentucky. So now we got 2 road games coming up. We got to somehow find a way to win one of these. Man, we're just really stinking. So we got Rice, Florida National. Looking at the dashboard too, I want to see how the relationships are going. Delzell's really struggling. He's a disruptive force. Too many disruptive forces on this team, more than I've seen on any team that I've coached so far. At what point, I guess, do you cut them and hope for the best? But we got a 4-game losing streak here. We've just won 1 out of our last 7. We're in free fall. And we almost really have to win here. I think, man, we're toast. I think this may be a short run if I can't really start turning things around. This may be, like with Penn State, I got 3 seasons there and was fired. I may be struggle. I may have to look for another job pretty soon into this playthrough. I'm trying to find that good combination. This is a tough game to play. I think it's tough to master for sure, unless, maybe it would be easier getting a bigger program, but I just don't feel like I would have as much fun. Even if we won, I don't think it would mean as much. So, so here we go with this one. We're both 4-8 in conference. Gosh, we are just terrible. I mean, I don't even know if there's any point in looking at the box score here. We are just this team is really bad. I think it's just going to come down to next year. I mean, they just tore us up. The only good thing maybe was turnovers. We were even. Shooting was just terrible. Delzell 2 for 10. I think it's Tinsley who's the backup shooting guard. I mean, do you give him more time here? They're both about the same for the most part, and I think Tinsley, though, is probably a better personality-wise. Delzell is, he's coming off a really poor form here. Tinsley, game logs from him. I mean, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to move this guy into the starting lineup for these next few games just to see what I can get from him. So to do that, you just want to highlight Delzell and then Tinsley, and that should switch them around. And then shooting guard, I'm just going to go pretty much and then load up maybe Delzell in the second half, I guess. No, there we go. So we'll see if that does anything, if that makes any kind of difference at all. All right, so here we go. Let's finish it up. What a disappointing season. I mean, 5 games left. I do not foresee us winning all 5. I think we're going to be lucky if we just get a win at this point. How bad can you be? So it now, I was coming in, like I said, I was thinking, hey, we got a good chance going 5-4 down the stretch, finishing 9-9 in conference. Man, I guess I was naive. I don't see any way to salvage this season. And Charlotte, it looks like they may have started playing better. They're 10-14, but at one point they were dead last in conference. Right now they're 5-8, so they're playing better. I think this is going to be another loss. It is. What a terrible season. This is probably the worst. Well, it is. This is the worst season I've ever had coaching in this game. Just unbelievable how bad I'm doing with this team. I've said before, if I don't start winning soon, I'm probably going to move on. I thought I've had some good ideas about this game, but it's just never translated into the win-loss record. The only bright spot I ever had in this game was really the first run I had with Austin Peay, and I look back at that, and I'm like, I should have stayed. I should have stayed and tried, maybe put 3 more seasons in and see if I could have built something even better there, because we were competitive, made it to the Final Four tournament, made it to another postseason tournament in the 3 years I was there. I mean, we're in danger. We may not get double digits in wins. That's just unbelievable to me. So this another one. I don't think we'll be able to win this. I think they're just too good. They're one of the better teams in conference. Thankfully, Delzell, he had more points off the bench there than he's had in a while, but it took a good game from Eschmeyer off the bench, or Eschmeyer, to really help us out. 20 points. Team wise, we're not getting. We had the rebounds here, but the turnovers I think are really killing us. We are starting to out rebound some teams. I'm noticing. We had a lot of free throws, 39, so they got in foul trouble maybe early, and that hurt them. So defensively, we played a pretty decent game. Offensively, it was all about Eschmeyer. Great performance at the line. Craig was held in check. Tinsley, that's his second start for us, I guess. His plus or minus has been okay. Even against Charlotte, his plus minus was good. Off the bench, we've got Robinson looked pretty decent. I mean, our bench play in some areas wasn't bad. Delzell was 9 of 12 for the free throw line. I know this guy's, his coach relationship's even better now. So, that's good. Maybe he didn't want to be starter. So that was a good win. That may have been the best. It's when you're. It's so embarrassing, really. When you look at the record, I mean, that was their first win since January. Now we got Rice, Alabama, Birmingham. I mean, standings wise, we're at the bottom. So we're playing two of the three bottom teams. In these next couple games, we've got to win them. I mean, we got to win them to keep from just the absolute embarrassment of finishing dead last. And this is a streaky team, so I don't foresee us. Well, they're not really streaky. They're the only thing that they're streaky in is losing. But I guess what I meant is we haven't had a win streak yet, and so I don't think it's a given that we'll finish strong here. So we would have to win 2 of 3 to get to 10 wins. Oh man, this is terrible. So here's Rice. It's a home game. They're tied with us down there at the bottom, and we managed to win it, thankfully. Tinsley, 16 points. That was good. Maybe he is the guy who should be starting. Almost a double-double from Eschmeyer. 3 steals. If I lose him next season, this team's probably toast. So let's take a look at this box score here. So great defensive performance. We didn't shoot as well, but we compensated. They had a terrible game at the line. And then look at the rebounds. We're really starting to pick that up. Again, I think it was playing that high post that hurt us on that. Turnovers we were better there. So this was a pretty decent win for us. We were pretty good at the line. Eschmeyer, definitely player of the game. And Hall, good game, 8 rebounds, 7 points. He's back next season. I hope he sees some improvement. He is not a good defender, and he may be somebody I have to really take a look at in the depth chart next year. Tinsley, I like what I saw there from him, and if you look at the game logs from him, since making him a starter, he's been plus minus has been even in the losses, even the loss to Charlotte, he was in the positive there. Bench play was a little bit better than it typically is. Delzell, 7 points off the bench. I'm really, his coach relationship really got better when I moved him to the bench. That's crazy. And then the dashboard, looking at the relationships there, He's the only one that's really got a red. And who's injured? Webb. 2 days. He should be better. Ready to go. Eschmeyer, team relationship not that good, but I think I'm still thinking maybe if it doesn't get too bad, hopefully I can keep him. So 2 games left. Texas San Antonio on the road, UAB at home. UAB may be fired up wanting to win too, because we did beat them. That's our only road win of the year, of the season. So we've got a streak here going. 2 wins in a row. Longest win streak of the year, maybe. I'd have to check, but it might be. It depends on time. I may try to get through our Conference USA tournament, just so we can get geared up for Final Four and all the other end-of-season tournaments and get ready for the off-season in the next episode. I think this is a tournament or a conference where every team plays, I'm hoping. So this is a road game. Don't expect us to win here, but they're not much better than us, and we can't pull it out. So 10-point loss, 79-69. Craig, Eschmeyer, Hall, our best players. So that's going to put us, I think, 11 losses in conference. Rebounding, we're still playing better. Turnovers, we're getting competitive there. I think the big thing here was they were so much better at the 3-point line. Everything else, though, looks like we were pretty close. Well, we should have gotten a few more free throws. Eschmeyer struggled at the line, 4 of 13. I think his free throw shooting, he needs to improve there. He's below average on that. Hall and Craig had decent games. Tinsley had his worst game since I've started him. Off the bench, Wallace, a junior small forward. He's about the same deal. I mean, he's not good defensively at small forward. That's why I didn't go with him as a starter. So it comes down to last game to see if we can finish with double digits in wins, or are we going to be a 20-loss team? It looks like we're probably going to be a 20-loss team regardless, because if we get a game in the tournament, then we're going to lose at least one game. But next season, we're going to get an easy non-conference schedule. That's just a guarantee. And hope that we're better in conference. So it's Alabama, Birmingham. They've got a better record. They probably had an easier non-conference schedule. They are, 5-12, 6-11 for us. If we don't win this, we're probably going to finish last. And we win it pretty easily. Eschmeyer again with another good game. Landrum coming off the bench had a good game. So I don't know what to make of this season. It's definitely going to go down as a disappointing one, but it is our first year with this team. So we will. I should have looked at the box score first, but no players declaring for the draft. So does that mean that we're not going to be in the tournament? Let me take a look here. So a good win to end it. Looks like defensively we really played strong against them. We had a good shooting performance. We were 20 of 25 from the line. Rebounds 32-24. So we've gotten definitely better with that down the stretch. Turnovers better too. just 13 for us, 14 for them. And then you look at individually, Eschmeyer, player of the game, he's going to finish just under 13 points scoring for the year. Tinsley, plus 10. He's got 4 potential. Maybe, he might be the best option for starting. And Landrum is just a freshman, so he wound up getting 16 minutes a game. I like that. So I'm hoping that he develops. He may compete with Craig for the starting job next year. Webb, I don't know what you can make of these point guards. They're just really bad. Jack, freshman, had one of his best games there in this one. Plus 10, 8 points, but just 1 assist. He got 5.6 minutes a game. I mean, he's not rated highly. You can see his relationships are low, but he's just a 2-star potential. So a poor recruit from the previous coach here. So if we look at now, I guess standings wise, man, we're close to the bottom, so we may not be playing in the tournament. Now that's disappointing. But what can you make of this team? 1-13 on the road. Just a very, very poor performance. So let's see what the grid looks like for the Conference USA tournament. We're not in it. So they take the top 12, so we're not going to be in it. So let's just go ahead and get through this one and gear up for the Final Four tournament next season, man. We're going to have some catching up to do for next season for sure. This team's going to be a really tough challenge. The goals set from the AD and school, I don't think we met them. Since we didn't make the tournament, I think that's probably going to classify as finishing last in the standings, and that's all he really wanted, but is to not finish last. I think that's probably going to qualify if you're so bad that you don't even make the tournament. Connecticut having a strong season. They were a team that we played earlier in the season. I may see how we are on time. I may take a look at the polls just to give you an idea of who's winning there. All right, so went to Louisiana Tech. They were top seeded in the conference, and they managed to hold on against Old Dominion. Alerts here. The brackets are set. I want to look at standings here to see. Marshall, they may have a chance at making the Final Four tournament. I doubt it. As an invite, you're probably looking at them in the NIT, perhaps. Western Kentucky, they went on a nice win streak to finish. Look at that. They won 4 in a row middle of the season, and then they won 7 of their last 9, so they finished strong. It was bunched up. I mean, one more win, and we're in the tournament, the conference tournament anyway, and we're gonna we're gonna meet the goal of not finishing dead last. So that's disappointing. It's disappointing. I don't know if I would say we played better down the stretch or not. It's hard to say. So we're definitely not going to qualify for a tournament. Um, Yeesh. I hope I keep my job. I really hope I keep my job. First season in, that would be unusual, but you can never tell. Relationships, they're still showing Delzell was bad, but he's one I can afford to lose. I can't afford to lose this guy. So I said I was going to look at the polls. We'll take a look at that. It's probably going to be your typical Kansas. Yep, they're top. Gonzaga, Michigan State, Texas, Longhorns. That's kind of a surprise. Xavier, Indiana, Maryland. Big Ten represented here pretty good. Illinois, Vanderbilt from the SEC. They're having a good year. Ranked higher than Kentucky. Hey, UNLV in the top 20. Um, on the bubble, well, I guess it's not because they've got the brackets are already set, so I guess that goes off. But that's what we'll do next episode. We'll take a look at the Final Four, go through that, get to the off season, see how our goals stack up, see where if I don't get fired, what my job security is like. I've been, I think with Penn State, I went down to 20% job security one season, so I expect to be down there pretty low on this one, maybe 50%, if I'm not fired. But that's first season in the books, not the way I thought we were going to go. But it's nice to at least be playing again after that mess I went through with my computer. Hey, we did win 3 of 4. No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, we did win 3 of 4 to close it out. If there's any positives to take from that, and we did have a couple close wins against Western Kentucky and Charlotte, 2 pretty decent teams in the conference. But next year, I guess, it'd be hard if there's any positives. It would be hard to go worse than this. So we've only got, we're only going to get better, surely. But as always, thanks for watching. I appreciate the support, and I will see you next episode.